Hi, Tammy. It's Heather. I thought I would take a minute to respond to your discussion board. I enjoyed reading it. I also did kind of prompt number two, which made me kind of want to respond to yours. I really like how they just short and sweet, like a hypothesis is an educated guess. So that is really what's going to start your study. You've got your research question. You've got kind of how Salkind and Frey put it, like, okay, like to kind of start thinking what you're interested in, what variables you want to look at, and then just kind of pose a question. And so you're going to do that research question or problem statement, like you said, that drives your study forward and keeps it on track. That hypothesis is the exact next thing that you're going to do. And I know for me, I'm glad there's just null and research, like those are very straightforward. I really like that they give a lot of examples of what the hypotheses look like because it definitely helps me kind of in the wording. At page 134 of chapter 7, it breaks down, of course, the null hypothesis and then non-directional and directional. And I think, it goes with some of the things you're saying. The null hypothesis, no correlation, no relationship, no difference. Whereas a research hypothesis, like completely different. Like you said, definite relationship difference between variables. And so on page 134, it really just talks about like just the difference between all three of them. So what helps me is to look at those specific words. Like if I'm having a hard time, okay, which kind of hypothesis is this? That null is going to have no difference, no relationship, like you said, just the two variables are just kind of there. And that one, like Salcon and Frey say, that one's just implied. It's not really listed on research articles and whatnot. And it makes sense that like if you're not going to find a relationship, positive or negative, there's just going to be no difference, no relationship. So that's kind of implied. The non-directional is just, of course, it's going to differ, be different, that there is and that there is a relationship. But the directional is, like somebody's going to have a higher score on something. There's going to be a positive relationship. Something, is measured more kind of thing. And so I think that helps us kind of figure out which kind of hypotheses, that it is. I like that they encourage us to just go ahead and assume the null hypothesis is true because that is really your starting point because you don't want to skew anything. You don't want it to be off. You just want to start with, okay, like you said, assuming the null hypothesis is true, it forces you to provide data and tangible proof to support the research hypothesis. And so that is really just the start. I love the hypotheses where it says, this might be different than this, or like this has an association. I love correlational studies because those I feel like I can understand a little bit more versus, of course, when we get more in depth to the, MANOVA and all that kind of stuff, those I know are a little bit more complicated. So I'm glad we're starting out one level at a time with this. I enjoyed reading your discussion board. I hope you have a good day and a good weekend. Thanks.